Hello friends and welcome to Worldbuilding and Chill, my sister series for my map chat interviews, but for people who aren't necessarily cartographers but still in the world building sphere, people like authors, dungeon masters and character illustrators. And for my first ever episode of Worldbuilding and Chill, I am very excited to be talking to my internet friend, Matt Owen, who is a character illustrator on Instagram and just a super lovely guy, super supportive and very interactive with his community. And he has grown exponentially in the last couple of months particularly. It's amazing. And he's just got such a fun, quirky sense of personality in his artwork. So I'm very excited to get to know the Matt behind the curtain. So without further ado, let's get into the interview.
Hello.
Can
Hello.
you hear me okay?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear, which is good because
That's good.
I'm always anxious about technical difficulties with these things.
Yeah.
I'm sweating intensely. So hello.
Hello.
It's so nice to finally meet you in person online.
Yeah.
Seeing as we've been talking for quite some time. And thank you so much for agreeing to come and do a cheeky little map chat with me. I guess this is kind of not quite in the realm of maps, but I'm still really excited to talk about it. And I'm excited that you're the one to bring something different to the map chats today. So if you wouldn't mind, could you just do a little introduction, who are you, where are you from, etc.
Yeah. So my name is Matt. I am from UK. I live in Norwich. And I am an illustrator. I'm working on a couple of projects at the moment. My main project is a comic book called The Unwanted Adventures of Pilgrim Jim. It's about a guy, this guy.
Oh,
Little
you've got him
Pilgrim
there.
Jim.
That's so cute. Oh
So
God, is that like a pop figure?
yeah, my friend Scott makes props and stuff, so he made me a little Jim.
Cute. I want one.
Yeah. Hopefully one day I'll have little Jim figures to give out and stuff.
Well, I'll be first in line for them.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. So that's pretty much me. I am a freelance artist and marketing artist for a app called Lightning Link, but on I also do comic book illustrations and working with people to doing whatever they want me to draw.
That's really cool. So you do illustration full time, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
Pretty much. That's very impressive. Well done for making that step into the full time freelance illustrator market, because I know it can be a difficult step to go full time. How did you get into illustration? And have you always been kind of creative? Do you have an academic background in art?
Yeah. So I studied animation at university, mainly because I wanted to learn lots of stuff, and I figured that animation is going to cover everything. So
Yeah.
I was really into cartoons, comic books, and stuff, and I studied animation. I was more interested in the character design and the world building than the actual animating, but
I can relate to that.
yeah. But obviously I learned quite a lot when it came to the actual forms and stuff of how things should move and how things should look, and it really helped with my drawing. But then after university I actually became a set designer for theater and stuff, and
That's cool.
yeah, it was the whole other part of art, I guess. It was very different, and I was designing backcloths, props, how things should be made and stuff, and it was very
That's really
interesting.
cool.
Yeah, and it was pretty interesting. Then obviously the pandemic hit, and that
Yeah.
kind of fell under, so I had to look elsewhere. Then I landed a contract at a company called Product Madness, as that's the app that I work on. So I'm an artist for them full time, but obviously because I'm working remotely, I'm also handling my business, which is freelance illustrator, and I don't really sleep.
Yeah,
I
I was like,
just
how do you have time to be a human? Like Matt,
yeah
you're really like going hard at the illustration.
yeah
I
you
admire
know
your tenaciousness.
yes exactly
Tenacious D, someone would say.
exactly. So I'm just constantly working on stuff, but I really love it, and just like the only thing I want to do, and it's the only thing I'm you know happy in doing. So I might as well just keep going at it, really.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're absolutely smashing it on Instagram. Congratulations on 30K. That's such a
Thanks.
massive achievement. And
Yeah.
like, it's not, I feel like not only have you hit like a really big follower goal, but also like the interaction that you have with people is amazing. Like, with your draw it in your styles, like people are really like getting on board with it. And I love seeing all the people's like interpretations of what you've been drawing. And some of them, they're so fast. I'm like,
I know.
how do you
Like,
do that? Like,
they're crazy. Sometimes like it's in like the first hour, and they've made something like which is brilliant, and I'm just like, wow.
whoa.
It's like I wish I was that fast.
No, it's really great. So well done you. I would like kind of like want to talk about social media kind of to start with. So how did you kind of make the decision to come onto Instagram? Was it kind of like a no-brainer? Everyone's on Instagram, so you just decided to make one. How do you keep on top of it? Because you're really consistent. Like, well done you, especially now I know that you're also working another full-time job. I'm like, dude,
Yeah.
like you're making the rest of us look bad.
Well, if you want to sacrifice sleep and the social life, it's easy. But
Just those two
no,
small, non-important things.
exactly. Yeah. No, it was kind of like with the pandemic, to be honest with you. It was like hit into lockdown, and I was bored. I got put onto furlough, and I was just like, I might as well just start uploading my drawings and stuff. And me and my friend Liam, who's like helping me write Pilgrim Jim, I was just like, I might as well make an Instagram to promote our comic. And back then I was like, no way is it ever going to go anywhere. It might help like sell some or whatever, but it was never like the intention to become big on Insta or like have a following or anything. It was just I just wanted to upload my art and see where it would go, and mainly for fun, to give me something to do every day. Um, and then obviously it started to blow up, and I was getting more and more obsessive with it. I was just like, oh, I need to post. And yeah, and then it turned into like in itself a full-time job, really. Which is kind of weird because I know a lot of people kind of get like overwhelmed with it and stressed out because they feel like they need to post and all that. But after I got past that initial fear of not posting and like stress of like, oh, if I don't post everyone's going to leave me and stuff, and I realized that's not how it works.
We'll never leave you, Matt.
Yeah, thanks. I just sort of yeah, it just became a hobby slash job, I guess, and I've gotten some cool opportunities such as this, and yeah, it's awesome.
It's really great to see how you've grown. How do you keep up with all the kind of trends and stuff, like with draw it in your style and that kind of stuff?
I don't know. It's this recent one. I wasn't going to do anything for my 30K because I just figured I'm so busy. So I was like, I don't think I should do anything. But it was quite funny because a friend contacted me, and he was like, "Can you draw this in your style? Because I'm running out of things to draw." I was like, "Why?" And I kind of like designed something, but I didn't like it. So then I went onto my stories and asked people, "What should we draw?" And that was really fun. And then I became more interested in it again. And as soon as people started like uploading their versions of, I think that the recent characters are Demonic Dan and his main man Frank. Um, as soon as people started like uploading their versions of them stuff, I was just instantly like, oh yeah, this is why I like doing it. Like, because I like talking to people and seeing how people like interpret my idea, I guess, and
Yeah.
it's just really fun. And yeah, I stay on top of it, I guess, with just if I'm struggling with things to draw myself, I'm like, I'll do a challenge, because then not only does it challenge me, but it challenges everybody else, and it's something that I can do alongside everyone who follows me.
Yeah. And I think it's great kind of like obviously you do your one in your style, and how many different styles are there out there, like
Exactly,
of just
yeah.
one type of drawing, and they're not just copying the same pose and stuff, they've got them doing all kinds of crazy things. Yeah, it's kind of inspiring just seeing all the different kind of interpretations of this one seed drawing that you've kind of given people. So yeah, that's really cool. And how would you kind of say that you world build around your characters? Because I know you've got so many kind of like, I love the fruit one, the kind of fruit gangsters. I really like them. And obviously Jim, he's amazing. But how much do you actually kind of world build around those characters? Do you kind of take notes, or is it more just like stuff in your head?
Yeah, so with Jim, it's very much we've written a script, we've got ideas for everything. We're currently actually building like the land and stuff, which is where I'm going to come to you hopefully for maps. And yeah, so that was in quite in depth. We're thinking about like currency, brandings of food, what shops would be called, what the land is called. All sorts of things like that. So we're going quite in detail with Bob Clementine. That one's, I don't know, that one's just like every time I think of something funny, I'm going to draw it. So that was just for fun. That's definitely all in my head. I'll look at some food, or like, I think he came from like, I was eating a Clementine and I needed something for that TM Wilson's arena. And I was like, what can I do for that? I was like I don't want to do what everybody else is doing. And I was eating this clementine. I was like, what about a guy with a clementine for a head and he's got a katana? Why not?
Why not?
Exactly.
It's the
And then
obvious choice.
right, yeah, like exactly. Like I was like, anyone would do this. And then as I was drawing it, I was like, maybe he's like a private eye or something, like in Miami. Um, and then I was like, but it can't be called Miami because obviously people don't have fruit heads in Miami. So I was like, how can I make everything into food? So I was like, my hammy. Like, it's like, and what rhymes with vice? So I was like, my hammy rice. Like, I don't know.
It really tickled me.
As I was doing, I was just like, this is so dumb, but it got a really good response. So I definitely will be exploring that in the future. But as soon as I get some time,
it's
100%.
really funny. I mean, any food related puns, like I'm there. Like, I mean, I think the internet in general is pretty there for food related puns.
Like people's ideas, what they were coming up with in the challenge were just mad, and I was like, this is incredible. So yeah, definitely gonna make something of that.
How do you kind of, because now you've got such a big audience, how do you balance kind of drawing what you want to draw and also kind of catering to what your audience wants you to draw? And obviously I'm sure that a lot of people have opinions about what they want to see. How do you go about choosing, like, oh, this week I'm going to do something that I've made up, opposed to what they kind of draw this, Matt?
Yeah, I don't know. I just kind of draw what I want, and if people don't like it,
No, that's good. I think that's a good attitude to have.
Yeah.
It can be kind of like a thin line on social media, especially as your following grows. People suddenly have a lot of opinions about what you should be doing.
For sure,
so
yeah.
fair play to you for staying true to yourself.
Yeah, and if something's like, even if something's not something that I like, but I enjoyed the process, I'm gonna post it because why not? But I don't ever really get influenced by people's immediate opinions of stuff. Like if it's something that, say with Jim, if I completely changed his design for me maybe and it didn't receive very well, I think then I would revert back to certain things just because I kind of want people to enjoy that. But if it's something like the Clementine character or anything like that, it's just something that was making me smile. So if it didn't receive very well, as I had fun with it, so that's all that matters.
I mean, he's perfect the way he is, so I can't see how there'd be any complaints.
Yeah, I really want his shirt, like that pink shirt with the yellow flowers.
I think you should get your friend who made the Funko Pop of Jim to do one of the fruit people too. Because
definitely, yeah.
That's like,
I'm thinking about making little like enamel pins of different fruit heads and stuff, and I don't know.
How do people make enamel pins? Because I see so many absolutely gorgeous enamel pins on Instagram, and it just gives me enamel envy. And I'm like, I just want to make pins, but I don't know how.
I just Google like where to a company to make them and stuff, and you just pay someone to make them. I guess you'll send away your design, and they'll just turn it into a pin, sort of like stickers, I guess.
Yeah.
But I mean, I haven't had any yet. I'm gonna shop around, see what's the best things to get, and yeah, I'll go, run around the town just chucking pins at people and be like, follow me.
Follow me, like the Pied Piper of pins.
Yeah. Exactly.
And who would you say, or what are your kind of like biggest influences? Do you use any kind of other external resources like Pinterest or other Instagram accounts, etc.?
I want to say that I've got like loads of famous artists that I love, but I don't really.
Picasso.
Exactly. Like I'm not really like into art history and stuff, which is pretty bad, I guess. But
It's not
I'm
for
into
everyone.
it.
It's
But,
an acquired taste, I think.
yeah. Like I'm into it, and there's obviously like art that has influenced me throughout the years and things, but nothing that's influenced me like the artists that I see now, like my day-to-day peers and stuff. I think a lot of people who are making art nowadays are just incredible. And even people who aren't famous and stuff, like that's why I love things like Instagram. So like I've got like friends like my friend Ben, whose Instagram handle is Bench Pillow. His art just always blows my mind, and I'm always like stealing things from him, and like comic books, I guess. Like I love like Batman comics, and recently reading Gerard Way's I can't remember what it's called, but I think it's like the Killjoys or something.
Okay.
And I love that, and anything which has got like expressive movement and cool lines. I love like really good line art. And you know, Ghibli is always going to be
a. I should have brought my little Totoro to put him in the bag.
Yeah. Whenever I watch a Ghibli film, I'm like, oh, I gotta go make some art or something. Just sort of
Which is
try.
your favorite Ghibli?
Oh, for a long time it was Spirited Away, obviously, and then House Moving Castles. I like Porco Rosso and Tales of Earthsea. I think that is my favorite, Tales of Earthsea, just because it's so weird.
Yeah, I mean they're all kind of weird in a way, but that's a good choice.
Yeah,
I'm a Totoro girl myself, but
yeah,
I mean, obviously I love them all. I like Kiki as well because I'm kind of like into the witchy thing, but Totoro, like I just really just want to go to Japan and be whisked away by a tree spirit. Like that's all I want from my life.
I would like a Totoro kind of like bed or something just to lay on. Like, could you imagine how comfortable
they have like they have Snorlax ones where you can get like really massive like pillows, and you can get them for Totoro ones, and you can just get like a full body Totoro pillow. It's like
I need that.
Especially in the pandemic, like now is the perfect time to be lying on a Totoro.
Exactly.
Like, now I'm
yeah, I think that's kind of I love that song. It's so good. But I think that would probably be my biggest influences is just like artists on Instagram, and I do use like Pinterest and stuff, but I like going out and drawing from life mainly. Like there's so many interesting people about, and well, not at the moment, but like once upon a time.
When we could see people's faces, it used to be really interesting.
Exactly.
Now everyone's got a blue mask face.
I'm just like, how do I change that into something? They've all got like beaks or something. I don't know.
Yeah, that would be cool. Like a big army of ducks or something.
Which is like Duck Nation.
Duck Nation. Rise, my avian army.
Oh man, terrifying.
I think we're onto something there.
Yeah, next story.
And how would you describe kind of your workflow? Like when you have an idea, how do you go about kind of like creating the character and then actually doing the drawing? Also, if you wanted to show us your like art space, your desk, your office, that would be cool too.
Well, in terms of my process, I kind of, if I've got an idea in my head, I will just jot it down. It's normally at like I don't know, stupid o'clock in the morning. It's like 2 in the morning. I'll wake up and I'm like, gotta draw this. So I'll do a stupid scribble on my iPad or something. It'll look like nothing. And then the next day I'll be like, oh yeah, that was it. And then I'll like go on Pinterest or well, even Instagram, see if I can find anything that kind of resembles the feel that I want. And if it's completely nuts, like it's not even a human or like or something that exists, I will just keep drawing until my imagination is there, right? So it's normally about like 20 to 30 sketches, which is like really quick speed paints and like thumbnails and stuff. And then I'll go in with like a red pen, then a blue pen, and then I'll ink it out. But I normally do all of that sort of stuff for my Instagram stuff. So it's like all on iPad, just quick as quickly as I can get like ideas down and things. I can try and show you my workspace.
Yeah.
I got my
I like
camera.
being nosy, seeing behind where people work.
Yeah, I've tidied it. I've tried to make it as
I appreciate
clean as
that.
possible. I'll just. Eh. Cool. So. Oh
Oh.
no, I killed it.
Da, 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 da,
Did it work? Did it work?
da, 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 da. Da, da, da.
There you go. Cool.
There we go.
So I got as you.
Oh, it's me. Hey.
Kind of like my desk area for like admin and stuff, and you know that's where I see all my Pinterest and stuff.
Nice.
Then here I will have a bit dark one. I put a light. So I got Cintiq for like bigger projects and things, and like
Which
most of my work
Cintiq
for
model is that?
that is a 22-inch, I think. Oh, why is it so dark? A minute, I'll just turn a big light on. Oh, cool. So I have my Cintiq for like my bigger pieces and like you know publishing. Because I use like Clip Studio and Photoshop, and then here I kind of sit on my iPad in this little corner, and that's where pretty much all of my main work comes from. I prefer the iPad to the Cintiq just because it feels more like a sketchbook and it's more familiar to me.
Yeah.
I have a sword.
As you do.
And awesome
Keep
map.
the duck army away. Hey, I recognise that. Snap.
Yeah, that's it on the back. That's this guy. He's from Mexico, and he
Wow.
kind of like influenced a character that I did ages ago called
Yeah,
Damien.
I recognise him.
Yeah, and got some like pretty cool art on the walls and stuff, just to keep me happy. But yeah, that's
really cool.
kind of me, and all these lights and things because why not?
Yeah, like the LED stripping. I feel like it gives it ambiance.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go back under. Sorry about this. Yeah, but that's me. Your workspace looks really, really cool.
Well, I clearly have been to set building school like you. Because well, actually this is a set for another video because I'm going to be filming some other non-cartography related videos, but I was like, well, this makes a good map chat drop as well. So yeah, makes me feel like I'm some sort of woodland fairy, or woodland
badass.
spirit, or
yeah,
Totoro, some might say. I'm just going to bring everything back to Totoro now.
100%. Yeah. Are they real bricks, or is that?
They are not. This is actually like a photo backdrop.
Wow.
It looks real though. Like when I got it, I was like, wow, it's also a lot bigger than I expected. Like I kind of got this absolutely huge package and I was like, whoa, like I think I ordered the wrong size. But I know it's really good. It has like a wood kind of looking thing at the bottom, which I kind of cut off and then I use it on the table. So sometimes if you see my pictures that have got like the wooden background, it's actually because I just hack the bottom off of this. Life hack. Professionalism. just
It's
cut and
awesome.
stick. Like that's the answer to everything.
100%. Yeah.
And so obviously there you've got mostly digital kind of tools. Would you say that like a percent, like the most percentage of your work is obviously digital? Do you ever do traditional medium drawings? Would you like ever consider doing that like in a more mainstream way? Because obviously what you upload at the moment is mostly digital, right?
Yeah. To be fair, I do have a lot of sketches in my sketchbook and stuff. Like a lot of my warm-up sketches will be in the sketchbook because it's just nicer to draw on paper. I think it's always more comfortable, but I just can't draw the things that I can draw on digital. It's weird. Like the process just feels so, it's so similar but so far apart that I can't create the things that I want to create as well on paper, and not just that, but like to get the same finish on paper to what I can get on digital. There's so many different like, you know, techniques and materials you got to get, and you got to learn it all. And I've slowly but surely lost all knowledge of my traditional art life, I guess. But yeah, I do have like sketches, and I try to keep it up. And if I'm going out and stuff, I'll sketch in a sketchbook just because one, I don't want to get my iPad dirty, and two, it's nicer.
Yeah. Do you have any tips for people who are looking to transition from traditional to digital? Because I know that for me, like out of curiosity, like I find it so difficult trying to draw on an iPad. Partly because of the size, like even though I know you can make different canvas sizes, like I love having a big piece of paper and just sprawling out and doing that. Whereas obviously, like even with a really big tablet screen, you're
Mm.
still limited.
You are, yeah. I think when it comes to like sizing and things, obviously you can get some tablets that go up to like 32-inch or something like that, and they're just huge.
Beast.
Yeah. But that they're I've used one before, and it was just ridiculous because it was just this massive, big, loud, clunky thing. And yeah, it wasn't I didn't particularly like it. I quite like a small space, but I'm just used to sketchbooks and stuff. But to transition, I guess it's just if you are used to drawing in a sketchbook and things, the closest thing is an iPad, and getting like a paper-like screen cover, because then it feels like paper. Um, and Procreate, you don't really have to learn it as such. It's not like a program like Photoshop or Clip Studio where there's so much to do. It is what it is. It's a drawing app, and that's it. Um, and obviously there's like, finger get gestures and things, and you've got to learn how brushes work, but it's not a difficult uh, transition. But I think for somebody like you, it's difficult. I guess that you do everything traditionally and then scan. I don't know how would you just like scan it in or take a picture or.
Well, yeah, at the moment, I mean, I do everything by hand, and then I go to like a professional printers to get it scanned, and they do their magic. I don't know, they've got like some magic internet squirrels that do the scanning and make it look extra crispy, which I appreciate. And then, yeah, I mean, because I do everything in black and white, that kind of limits what I need to do to it after I've scanned it in. But I am in secret exploring the world of color. It's been quite a revelation. I think it's going to be a while before I'm ready to let that loose on the internet.
That's exciting. I can't wait. I think
Well, me too. I want it to work. I'm like just sat there covered in watercolors. I'm just like, oh my god, what's happening?
It's amazing.
No, but I am very excited about this watercolor palette that I bought the other day. It's just
Awesome.
so pretty.
I really wish I was good at watercolors. I suck at them so much. Like, I'm so happy that somebody made some brushes for Procreate to make it watercolors, because I love watercolor, like the how it looks and stuff. And like pretty much all of my art kind of looks like watercolor. And so many people are like, how do you do that? Is that digital? And I'm just like, yeah, I can't do this in real life. Like it's it's
Life
always
hack.
Exactly. Yeah.
Do
It's
you
always like that.
have you bought like some packs? Have you got some packs of brushes you can recommend?
Yeah, so basically anyone using Procreate on the iPad, anything from the Max Pack, uh, like his stuff is just that there's nothing like it. It's just incredible. I do use some packs from I think they're called Frankentoon. They're really, really great as well, but whenever I'm coloring or even my line work now, everything is just in Max Pack. They're just brilliant. I don't know where I would be without them.
Wow, that's very high praise. Like there just seems to be so many like people with brushes. Like I've heard of Bardo brush or something like that. She has like loads of brushes, and one of the cartographers in our community, Josh Stolitz, has got his own pencil sketch pad set or something like that. And so
Nice.
yeah, there's loads of really good packs out there, but it's good to have a recommendation. And what would you say is your favorite piece, like favorite drawing that you've ever done? I know that you've done a lot of drawing, so maybe I'll give you a top three.
Yeah, for a long time it was this piece that I printed out a long time ago. Like it was
Oh, it's
something
cool.
I did. I think this was one of the first things I put on Instagram, and I was just really happy with it. It was just like the first thing that looked finished for Pilgrim Gym. So I was like, oh, it was a nice moment. I could try and get something up on my iPad. There's this piece I think is just my favorite that I've ever done because like people resonated quite well with it or responded to it quite well, I guess. And yeah, I really enjoyed doing it. Um,
Oh yeah,
I
he
think
looks
that
really
was my
happy, just chilling, just vibing.
yeah. I don't know. It was different to what I normally do. It was like a whole different vibe. It kind of reminds me of Winnie the Pooh.
Yes, actually, now you say that, it really does.
And I don't know, it was just like something I've never been able to recreate either. Like I was trying to like get that same vibe, and it's just I don't know what I was doing that day, but I want to go back.
I really like your Tenacious D one that you did recently. I was like,
Yes,
yes.
that was yeah. When I finished that because it was funny. I was playing Baldur's Gate 3 with some friends, and in between goes, I was like just doodling this because Kyle put something on his Instagram of Wonder Boy, like when they were on set, and I was just, I'm going to draw them guys. It was just like some stupid doodle. I didn't even have the intention of finishing it, but then I got really into it. Like I was like, this is cool, and then it
Possessed by
like
the demon.
exactly like it was. And then I posted it, and I was super happy with it and stuff. And then they ended up sharing it, and I was just like,
Really? I didn't know that.
yeah,
That's so cool.
yeah. I was like, what?
Oh my god,
I
that's your
could not
claim to
believe it.
fame now.
Yeah, that's it. Like I've peaked. This is me. This is the
That's
best thing.
amazing. Yeah, like 30k, like you've been retweeted, no, not retweeted,
Shared, I
reposted,
guess.
shared.
Reposted. That's it.
That's, well, put that on your CV.
Yeah, exactly. This
That's
is
the only
it.
thing you need to put on there.
Tenacious D liked my work. Just like, yeah, it was awesome.
um and okay, so this is kind of like a controversial subject, I guess. Some people don't really like talking about money and pricing on the internet. But obviously you don't have to say any like exact figures, but how do you go about pricing yourself as a freelance illustrator, kind of in this market where everybody's at it?
Mm. Yeah, it's a difficult question because it's something that not a lot of people, like you say, talk about. So it's really hard to actually learn how to do it, I guess.
Yeah.
And for the longest time, I'm still probably undercutting myself, but for the longest time, I was charging like I weren't making any money because I was like nervous that they were going to say no.
Yeah.
And I think everybody goes through that, I guess. But so I just kind of like look at rates online for like contracted like say like how much does a concept artist make? and it'll give you like a figure. Then you've got to figure out how much roughly they'll be on an hour. And then I'll be like, right, so I guess I'll charge that. So it kind of like grew from this. So like the research that I put into how much people are being paid when they're working for a studio, I was like, well, if they're getting paid that, then I should be around that sum, I guess, for doing the same work.
Yeah.
So I was just like trying to charge a lump sum, which would amount to the amount of hours that I kind of calculate for my piece that I think is going to take. Obviously, I put a little bit more in just for like leeway and stuff. And yeah, so as long as I'm making that like hourly rate, I'm happy. Um, and I usually like say to like whoever, like clients or whatever, that I'll say, give me like half the money for a deposit at the start, then I will get the commission done, and then you pay me the extra half. If there's any changes, if they're very small changes, I don't charge for them because I like to have a bit of a good relationship with people. But if they're very large changes and stuff, I have to kind of like say to them like I need to like compensate for that, I guess. Um, but usually it's never anything big, or if anything. Yeah, I want to keep it as fair for both parties. So everybody's kind of happy. So people are getting the thing that they want, and I'm getting the amount that I
Yeah.
want, and yeah, like no, there's no arguing or angry people and screaming.
Yeah. No, it is difficult. And I think I find in general with clients that people actually, I think as artists, we're generally like, you've got that nervousness of asking for money for your art because like, yeah, you know that you should be paid for it, but sometimes it's like that awkward like transaction feeling and you're like, oh, I don't know how I feel about that. But I found that generally people really like it if you're just very upfront, like this is how much it's going to cost, and this is what you're going to get. You're going to get this, and this, and it's going to take this long. And like, if as long as you've got really clear boundaries about what your commission kind of like experience is, then people are actually more willing to pay than you'd think.
Yeah,
And the people who aren't interested, like to start with, I was like, have that feeling like, oh, I have to make it so that they say yes. But you do learn that if you provide a really good service and good customer service as well as a good final product, people will come back, or there will be another person. It's not the end of the world if somebody doesn't want to pay what you're asking the first time round or
exactly.
whatever.
Yeah, I think that it's just that horrible, like when you're getting into it, it's just this horrible feeling that you're going to get rejected because you're charging too much. Or somebody like, there is a lot of people out there obviously who look at art and they don't think that they should pay, you know, livable amounts of money for something because they don't see it as a job, I guess. I don't know, but like they get a bit funny, and I'm just like, well, what do you expect? It's like if you go into like a jeweler or something and
Yeah.
asking them to make you a ring or something like that, like that's their trade. You got
Yeah, and you like art is everywhere. It's I mean, I noticed it when I started drawing maps, like suddenly I see maps everywhere. And I don't think people appreciate that art is literally in every part of our lives. It's not just the traditional like a Pablo Picasso or whatever. It's that there's so many different forms of art and it can come into our lives in so many different ways that it's very much a real job, and it very
yeah.
much deserves to be compensated as such.
It's literally anything that we have. I mean, the chair that I'm sitting on was designed by someone. I mean, like they, I think some people look at art and they go paintings, and that
Yeah.
is it, or sculptures. I was like, well, oh, they look at my art and they're like, oh, well, you draw like cartoons and stuff, but you only do that for fun, right? I'm like, well, yeah, but also it's my life.
Yeah.
My life.
My whole being.
uh,
um, how do you deal with rejection as an artist? I know it's a difficult question, but
um, I think rejection is like what like if somebody says that they don't like something, or they don't
Well,
want.
yeah, I either that they say the like obviously negative comments and stuff online is one part of it, or sending your portfolio to a company and they say no or whatever, that kind of.
I I mean, I've yeah, I've experienced that quite a lot. So I just kind of expect, like, I've gotten to a point where I expect the no more than the yes. So because I know that a big company is going to have hundreds of portfolios come in, and only one person's going to get it. So it's unless you're incredibly good or it's exactly what they want, you're in the pit of everybody else, and
Fighting it out.
yeah, exactly. And I think it's just like you've got to be realistic and think to yourself, like, you're probably not going to get most of the jobs that you think that you want or think that you should get and stuff, because it's such a saturated market and such well, it's a bit of a like a viper pit or something, isn't it? It's like everybody's so angry and like, we gotta get there, and that's and it's just like, oh. But yeah, I just kind of deal with it. If it's something that I really, really, really want, obviously I do get a little sad and stuff, but I don't let it deter me. And I just think, well, I didn't get that one, but I will get something else. It is what it is.
Yeah, I think you definitely have to like grow a thick skin when you're in like any kind of art related market, because art is so subjective. Not only is it saturated, but it's so subjective. I was like objective. English language words. It's so subjective that, even though there's so many people, like people have so many different opinions about what's good and what's not. And especially like there's so much more digital work coming into art. I think it's now probably one of the most popular forms of art, but I think a lot of people still have their ideas of what art is rooted in the traditional. So trying to like move everyone's collective appreciation of what is art is a slow process.
Yeah, definitely. It's strange. I think that some people talking about digital art and stuff, like a lot of digital artists probably aren't looked upon as artists as much as like they're providing a service for a product instead of just a piece of art, I guess.
Yeah.
Which is kind of sad in a way, but then at the same time, I guess it's just the way that like business has happened, and because most of digital art is like it's not like a singular object that it'll be worth millions and millions of pounds because it's this one little thing, well, maybe worth that much, but it's yeah, I don't know, it's just one of these things that you just gotta expect that people are probably gonna walk over you because you're an artist.
Yeah, but don't take it like, don't be a doormat.
No.
You're not a doormat, you're a person.
Yeah,
Or a
exactly.
duck, or a man with a clementine head, but you're still a person, you're still a being.
Yeah, I think what really helps actually is having your own goals as well. So not just thinking about I need a job, because although it's obviously incredibly important to have work, if you've got a project and a goal that you're doing by yourself, if you do get rejected, you've always got your own thing to fall back on. And I think that's why I'm so kind of lucky to have Pilgrim Gym, because it's always going to be there. This like that will never say no to me, if that makes sense. It's like it's
Yeah,
just yeah. I think it's pretty important, especially if you want to be creative, is to have your own thing and constantly having your creative muscles tense.
yeah, no, absolutely. And a lot of people ask me kind of like, well, how do I make money doing cartography and stuff like that? And I'm sure it's the same for illustration, that at the end of the day, like, yes, being paid for something is, it's all well and nice, but if you don't have like a real passion for what you're doing, if you wouldn't be doing it anyway,
Mm.
then don't be trying to think about making money out of it, because it's not going to be sustainable. The pressure
Yeah.
of people paying you is going to make it more intense. And if you're not doing it anyway, it's just going to all like fall apart.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's one of those things. It's like creative people in general, I think, are quite I don't know, we're quite passionate about certain things, and I think we get more connected to certain like ways of life and our work and stuff a bit more than say somebody who just, you know, your average person, whatever. And yeah, I just think it's more important to be enjoying what you're doing than making money. It's never like obviously you need money, but like the goal shouldn't be like I'm going to draw this because I want to be rich. Like
Newsflash, you're not going to be.
exactly. It's like or like I'm going to make Pilgrim Gym because I'm going to sell it and I'm going to be a rich and famous comic book illustrator. One, I wouldn't want to be famous because that's terrifying, and two, I'd rather like enjoy it. Like it's a thing for me, and it's a thing for the people. And I think if somebody's reading it, they will understand that I enjoyed it because my whole kind of like attention and passion has been put into that one project, and it's really, really important.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think also as as you grow in like kind of knowledge of people knowing about you, it's you kind of like the more people that want to talk to you and stuff, you start to lose connection a bit. And I think as creatives, part of what we really like is the connection to people who share our passion for art. And, you know, we want to have conversations with people about that. Not only do we like getting the positive feedback, but actually like sparking off other artists and even people like I'm doing cartography and you're doing character illustration, but we've kind of connected over a kind of like interest in art in general. And I think that's really important too, not just the actual art itself, it's that kind of connection to people, the way that art brings people together.
100%. And it's a massive motivator as well, as if you're surrounded by people like-minded people. It's just you're all with the same goal. Everybody wants to see each other succeed, and it's really great. I think that's why I love Instagram, is because the community on there, although it's vast and there's thousands of people doing it, the people that I've met, like every single one of them has, you know, been such a big influencer and like influencer and motivator for me personally, because it's like I'm seeing them doing it, and it's just nice to see somebody else succeed, and then that's motivating me to want to succeed, and then I'm talking to people and they're happy doing that like their art and things, and it's just great to read and great to see, and it's awesome.
Yeah, it is really great. I was actually quite surprised like at how nice people were on Instagram, because before I started I had this idea that it was like some sort of snake pit, like you kind of like throw yourself in and hope for the best, but actually that's not the case at all. Like I would say 99% of people that I interact with are super respectful and supportive, and they're just like really good cheerleaders, and everyone just like, even just in the small things of like, oh, you know, I'll save your work or whatever, so I know it helps you in the algorithm. And you know, just even like small gestures like that, it's just nice. Like it was a lot better than I expected.
100%. And like people, you tend to forget that they're real people, right? So it's like when you start messaging these like big artists on there and stuff, or anyone on there, like you like someone's art, but you're just seeing like a picture on a screen, so you'll message them and be like, oh, I love your work, blah blah blah, and you don't think that they're going to come back to you and be like, oh, thanks, and then they're really, really happy. Like it doesn't matter who they are, they all respond the same way. They go, cheers. I'm just like, oh wow. That's nice.
Yeah, no, it's really nice. And the fact that you're opened up to like so many people like around the world as well. It's not like gone are the days where you're just, you know, stuck with people from your country. Like you can see people from Timbuktu. Well, I haven't met anyone from there, but I'm waiting for the day that I can say that I've met someone from Timbuktu.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, so kind of final question. Obviously, I know that you're doing this comic with Jim, but do you have any other kind of future projects that you would like to do, or kind of dream projects that you would love to be a part of, or kind of like goals that you are setting yourself in terms of social media or your business?
Yeah, so I like outside of Jim, I'm working on another comic called Tourists by a guy called Hayden Pugh. And that's really, really awesome. It's very like it's a very different story, and I would like to continue working on that and seeing that grow as much as like gym, and like we all kind of like grow together and have like a bit more of a um list of comics that I'm working on. I think that that would be really fun. I would love to go to like Comic Cons and stuff and be a part of like even have like a booth or something and like
Yeah.
sell my wares, and I don't know.
Here,
Even be on
here.
like
Get
exactly
your
like
gym pop fingers here.
you like this? It's like I don't know, and I would enjoy stuff like that. Like really outlandish dreams would to get Jim made into like a show. That would be
Ooh,
the
like
creme de la
Adventure Time.
creme. Yes, how great would that be? Something like that would be really fun. I would like to just build a studio and have like a bunch of creative minds working on projects together and selling art, and like having a bit of like a creative hub and helping each other out, and like under one name. I think that would be really, really great. Something like that. Yeah, I've got quite a lot of ideas in the pipeline, and I'm really excited to see if they come to fruition and stuff. But yeah, who knows?
Well,
This
I'm
time
very
next year.
excited to see all of these things.
Yeah,
And now you said about the TV show, I'm like super invested already.
that's definitely my number one goal right there. So like having the I wrote a theme tune for Pilgrim Gym and stuff, and like it would just be cool to have that like playing on a TV somewhere. I'll be like, oh yeah.
Do you do music as well? Or is it just like a little cheeky
uh,
jingle that you wrote yourself?
yeah, I do, but I've got like friends who are very good with music, and like my friend Josh, he's insanely good at music and mixing and stuff, and I'm really lucky to have him. In fact, I've got so many friends who are really good at stuff. Like I'm surrounded by really useful people, and I'm incredibly lucky to know these people. And yeah, so hopefully one day I will release like a gym album, I guess, but that would be
That would
fun.
be awesome.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess outside of for my own projects as well, outside of gym, definitely want to see Miami Rice become something.
Me
I think
too.
it's yeah, it's definitely in the pipeline. I'm thinking having that as like little scenes or something, or I don't know. I just know that it's going to become something because I have so much fun working on that stupid world, and it's just brilliant.
It's not stupid, it's
Oh,
amazing.
but it is. It's so stupid, and I love it.
Well, I look forward to seeing the fruits of your labor.
You've been
Uh,
saving that one for a while.
sorry, I'll just see myself out.
Wow.
I know, I apologize.
No, it's
It's
great.
getting
I
late
love
here and clearly I've lost the plot.
it. Yeah.
Uh, okay, well, I think that's all the questions that I had for you. Thank you so much for coming and map chatting / illustration chatting with
Yes.
me. It's been really lovely to meet you, and
Yep.
I wish you the best of luck with all of your gym related and fruit related projects.